And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Solar Expanse Fission all the way as we continue sort of settling into the gas giants. In particular, I'm going to try to settle into Callisto and Ganymede, although we've found out that Ganymede has just a little bit too much radiation, the last one, for me to use the normal habitats. Spoilers, there's a radiation window which the normal habitats work in. So, rotating ones only work if the gravity's low enough. The outposts will work pretty much anywhere, but you only get one. The habitats get a bit picky. So there's a gravity window, there's a radiation window, and there's an atmospheric pressure window. This is what stops us from, for example, putting it on Venus at the moment. The habitats. So after we get Cronus done here, the Cronus is going to take a while. Do I pull up regular shielding sooner? How much longer do I have left on Cronus? 2 years. Yes, I'm going to pull regular shielding up one more. I'm going to work on that one first. Because that way we get this done in less than 2 years, and I can expand Ganymede. And with expanding Ganymede, I can do more polymer production, make polymers in situ, so I just have to bring the electronics from Earth. Got 4 transits going on. What does the regolith version cost? Underground habitat. Actually, really cheap. It's only 20 metal. It says limited in size. Comparatively speaking, this isn't necessarily a limitation in size to the normal outpost. It actually makes all the other ones cheaper, which is nice. Although I suppose it's limited in size in comparison to the dome habitat in the city. Which we're not quite that big yet. And then that was construction speed of stuff, so we're definitely not rushing to that anytime soon. Okay, so let's let some time pass. We're waiting for things to happen, mostly. Radioisotope generators to be constructed for shipping. For hydrogen to accumulate so I can get stuff into Earth's waiting room. Ongoing long-distance transits to complete because they're long and ongoing. I've got 1 out to Jupiter, 1 out, or I've got 2 out to Saturn. One coming from Jupiter, one coming from Earth. And then I've got 1 returning to Earth from Jupiter. Jupiter arrived at Earth. Okay, so we've got 1 waiting in the waiting room. Originally, I was going to have this guy pick up 100 crew and bring it to Ganymede, but I do not have housing on Ganymede because I have not researched the housing on Ganymede. So that will have to wait. Oh, I suppose I could get more housing on Callisto. Ship it to Callisto. Although if I'm going to ship it to Callisto, I should probably wait until I can get a radioisotope generator launched. I've got enough crew for our existing power. Yeah, I have enough crew for the existing power, so I should wait until I get a radioisotope generator launched, which means I'm waiting for the next few. And I've got 2. I got 1 here waiting for pickup, 1 waiting, or 1 on the way in to do pickup. So I don't need a 3rd one. So yeah, you can sit there and wait while I'm waiting for that hydrogen to accrue. I think Earth is going to accrue faster. So we're getting 3 tons on Earth. I am making 3 tons at Jupiter. So Jupiter will be first of the 2. Waiting for about the same amount of hydrogen in both locations for both launches. There we go. So there's one of our Saturn Jupiters. Although that one is just to wait there. You're to handle hydrogen in the Saturn system. Basically the inner system transport. At least until I get Cronus's up, and then probably at which point I don't need it, and we can retire the old Promethei. Yeah. Yeah, okay. And then Titan can pretty much be left alone. It's just barely making enough. Oh no, it isn't making enough water. It's making enough water to make the food it needs. Doesn't make enough water to actually net produce water, but that's fine. So, got 3 ongoing, 2 ongoing transits. Earth to Saturn, Earth to Jupiter. And the next 2 transits are waiting for hydrogen piling up, Earth and Jupiter being the waiting points. I think the Jupiter one, because we've got cargo for that one, is going to be the faster of the 2 to pile up. Well, will pile up just a little bit faster. Turn the speed up, get to that point. Go. So, Hephaestus to Earth. I'm actually going to task this with Earth orbit. I can always drop hydrogen from Earth orbit. The plan is to bring these crew modules and as much hydrogen as we can shove in the cargo hold, and as much hydrogen as we can get in the fuel tank. Coming by the optimal launch, which is February, so that's three days. Okay, so we're in the optimal launch, basically. Fair enough. So you're transiting. You're en route. No, you're en route. You arrive December. So we actually got the Jupiter orbit a little empty for the moment. It's probably fine. And then you are still waiting for that hydrogen, so I can get the radioisotope generators to orbit. There we go. Should be enough to get them to orbit. So I've got all this I want to orbit. How many more people do I want in orbit? I don't really want any more people in orbit. Okay. I've got the people I want up there. I want the capacity to transport them, so I want to bring up empty transports. So Earth orbit. Orbital payload container. Add module. I want all the radioisotope generators in orbit. Add module. Crew compartment empty. Add module. The other type of crew compartment, again, for the moment, empty. Add resource. How's the food looking in orbit? 6.4 years. Let's bring up another 800 tons of supplies. And then I have another 140 tons with which to ship. I have 120 tons of polymer. Is there a reason you're not giving me 120 instead of giving me 119? I guess there's some rounding going on there, and that's not quite 120. Well, we'll leave the last 10 there, so it's not quite 10 instead. And I've got 30 more tons. I guess that's going to be alloy, because I don't necessarily need... Well, I've already gone through all the electronics, for example. Yeah, we'll do 30 alloy. I have the hydrogen for that launch, so we take a Pelican to orbit. We wait 3 days. There we go. And the Hephaestus here can take stuff from Earth's waiting room to Jupiter. I think I am going to go to Callisto. I think I will take 100 people. so we can do more mining. Question is, how many radioisotope generators do I want? Got the housing for 230 people. I built 2 habitats at some point, so I've got enough housing for another 100 people. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Have the housing for another 100 people. Oh, because I built another habitat. That makes sense. So yeah, we'll bring 100 people. And that's only employing about 80. So I probably actually want like 2 more radioisotope generators up here. Maybe 3. So, 2 Callisto. We're looking using the Vestas. So 3 radioisotope generators, 100 people. Because I'm bringing 100 people, I'll bring 100 supplies. Just so I can know I can feed them. And then, construction-wise, as far as construction of more orbital gas extractors, the thing I am most limited on right now is electronics, because those are going to come from Earth. Followed by polymers, because I can make those in situ, but I don't have the tech to make those in situ. Although that won't be too much longer. In fact, actually, that tells me I'm probably ready to send the flight to Ganymede. The logic being, by the time I get to Jupiter, it's a long flight out to Jupiter after all. We'll be able to do regular shielding, so I'll be able to build a habitat for them. Okay, I'm gonna splurge. We're gonna do a couple more radioisotope generators. So, there we go. So 3 radioisotope generators. So this is for Callisto. Now for Ganymede, I'm gonna basically want to do 200 people. I'm still gonna do like 3 radioisotope generators, let's say. So bring another 3 radioisotope generators. I'm actually gonna bring 2 crew compartments. And another 200 food for the transit. That'll allow me to do polymers in situ. I then want to bring the electronics. We'll say 220 electronics. And then do I fill up the rest with polymer? And might as well. And then we'll do alloy on what's left. Yeah. Optimal transit window, 2089, November, so we're not waiting too long. It is a 2.5 year transit. We've got enough supplies for 4, so it's not a problem. I'm gonna have to pick them back off the planet because we're doing a dump on Callisto. Although that does mean that if I screw up and I'm not paying attention, they get dumped on Callisto, where there's food. So they're not going to starve even when I screw up. They're just going to be consuming more supplies than they would be if I shipped them to the right place. Okay. And then we're waiting for... When the next one gets back to Earth, we can ship more. Actually, I did 2 shipments there, so I don't need to ship more. I need to have them do stuff. Earth orbit, I noticed I have fuel. Drop the fuel to Earth. Yeah, drop the fuel to Earth. Also, the fissiles in orbit. Yeah, I'll leave the fissiles in orbit. At some point, we can probably do radioisotope generator construction in orbit. Well, not necessarily in orbit, but off-world. They're making power in orbit? Oh, because the radioisotope tuners, that makes sense. And they work in orbit. Yeah, that's what's going on. Okay, so that's my fuel dropped back to Earth, and we go ahead and sell the fuel off because we just don't need it anymore. It's not worth very much, but... So that's my launch window. And there we go. So there's regolith shielding. Callisto can make its housing. I will splurge... Not Callisto. Ganymede can make its housing. I will splurge and do 2 of these. Well, I say splurge. I've got 200 people coming out here, so I'm going to need them when they get here. I just don't need them until they get here, if that makes sense. They're going to build well before they get here. And then we're back onto working on the Chronos. We are still spending quite a bit of money, although we are getting that down. It was definitely larger in the past. We're up to what, 180,000 before, and we're down to only negative 120,000. Oh, I guess the next one that arrives here at Jupiter is going to be able to go right away. Underground habitat complete on Ganymede. First of those are done. Mars, continue to build glass. Or continue to build solar arrays, please. Earth orbit arrived at Jupiter orbit. That is one of my Vesti for carrying hydrogen, as well as supplies for more orbital gas extractors. Okay, time for your... Give it a little bit more so I know it's surplus. Your back to Earth. Optimal transit. And we're gonna run full fuel tank. So don't go. Yeah, power production's rising. Jupiter orbit to Earth has arrived. Quite have enough for launch here. Although the question is, what would I want to launch here? Is maybe a different question. Does the moon need carbon? I think the answer is no. 30 years, so not yet. Could definitely get more glass from the moon, but we're not desperate for that. Could do more processing on the moon, but that means I need to ship more stuff around. Don't really have the fuel for that yet. I think the moon's going to basically be the place where I build things like electronics. I don't have the facility for that yet, right? Because that's going to be requiring things from different places. Go take a look at that. I think the click is supposed to take us to where the thing is when you click on it like that. It is not well tuned yet. Yeah, so electronics needs silicon, rares, and noble gases. There's no place in the solar system where I have all 3 of them at the same time right now. So when we get into electronics, that probably honestly going to shuffle to the same place with low gravity. That is probably going to be the moon. And then exotic alloys require radioactives. and rares. So again, that will probably be the moon. Again, there's no place I think I have both radioactives and rares, so they're going to have to all get shipped to the same place. And if I'm going to ship one, I can ship both, and we can just say we're shipping them to the moon, and we do that, we're fighting at the moon. So this is expanding moon production here, basically. That's the fissile mine. So at some point I'll want to do the rundown to you. Oh, and I think after we're done with you, I think I want to do... communication satellites. We can see how much one of these makes at that point. And then we do improved you. I can't see where I can build these. Presumably you can build them, well, you can build geothermal IRL in Earth, so that makes sense. Probably can do Mercury, Venus, Earth. I don't know about Mars. This would be worth building on Mars if I could build it on Mars. Probably queue up you. Do I need special tech for you? Not that wouldn't have already been queued at that point. Okay. So a nice big long queue. We'll let ourselves work through some of that. And yeah, I can see. That number was starting to go down. So I need to either get moving on the contracts or I need to get moving on making more money. Earth to Saturn orbit. So that is what I need to build more orbital gas extractors there. And we do have enough hydrogen here, so this Hephaestus can do a return trip to Earth. Loaded with hydrogen. With a full tank of hydrogen on the optimal transit. We are actually using most of the tanks. We're not coming back with as much. We're only bringing in like 1.7 thousand tons of hydrogen. And it's also a much slower trip. So less of a rush to get pretty heavy production on Saturn. I feel like we might have a slightly better mix of the other gases on Saturn. Oh, I'm getting some nobles off of Saturn as well. So Saturn's providing me some nobles. It's basically irreducible supply of nobles. No war to them, so a little bit of trade-off there. And we're just about to finish up Kronos. We got Kronos, and the other one was more gas extractors. Okay. So, Kronos. I think I want 2 Kronoses. I think I will resist building more than 2 for the moment, because they're probably going to be reasonably expensive. Spacecraft Earth. Kronos. 895,000 each. They're almost about 1 million each. Other than the stuff we already have. So I already got the alloys there, so we're not paying for the alloys. This one will actually probably be a little bit more expensive. 911,000 each. They're about 1 million each. So not cheap. But I think they're cheaper than having to build a Pelican at every single planet with a orbit land site difference. Earth orbit Callisto has arrived. Okay, so Callisto has obviously more people here than we want right now. Got housing for 230. In fact, it's actually grown 1 person before the people arrive, so I'm gonna have to build a little more housing there. So, 2 of you wants to go to Ganymede. Callisto to Ganymede. Right on the Hephaestus that came with you. Add the module. We brought 3 radioisotopes for there. 3 for here. Take the 3. Take the crew. 2 crew modules. I'll take a 3rd one, but the 3rd one will be going empty, because we're just bring it along so we can have it for the return trip to Earth. And was that all I intended to bring? Ah, the electronics. Grab the electronics as well. And the polymers. And the alloys. Can I fit all 600? No, I gotta only take 525. 525, there we go. Oh, let's reduce that to 425 and take like 100 tons of food. Don't think it's gonna take that long to get from Ganymede to Callisto, but let's prepare for the worst. 105 tons. Most of it's actually going to launch cost. Then Callisto. We're one over sort of our ideal habitat housing, so let's go and grab another house, another habitat. And then I would like to raise food production, probably... Oh, the food hasn't updated yet, so give it 3 days. Crew is gone. Yeah, so I could probably get away with a single hydroponics farm, feed the new arrivals, and then I'll reduce this from 91 days to 45 days. That will be fine. And then we use the power to expand both metal and alloy production, because I will want more alloys. Although, let those build first. Over at Ganymede, we wait for our crew to arrive. And there they are. And then from here, we're going to set out... From here, we're going to set out to Jupiter. Obviously not Jupiter orbit. Vestas. Add module. Add the crew modules empty. We're bringing the polymer along. We're bringing... I'm actually going to leave the alloy here because I need the alloy here to make more polymer. Bring the electronics along. Right, the Pelican up. Minimum fuel, because we're going to the gas station. We don't need to bring gas with us to the gas station. And now that we've got the crew here, do I have enough to feed everyone? No, much like the other one, I need to build a hydroponics farm. So we're going to do a hydroponics farm into the carbon mine. And then we're into polymer production. I can't necessarily go too ham on carbon consumption because I might need... We'll go reasonably ham. We'll go like 7. I think that'll still leave enough. Oh, well, that's all my alloys. That's as far as we can go. Fair enough. And then back on Callisto, where we've got all the metal. I was going to wait for that to build. Okay. Ganymede to Jupiter. So we need alloys up here to build more. But we're going to be able to make... left the electronics mind. It'll be fine. That's where I need to get more polymer from anyway, so... It'll be fine. So we're waiting for you to pick up enough hydrogen here to go back. That shouldn't actually take too long. What else are we waiting on? So we got hydrogen returns to Earth. Okay. And if I'm worrying about upkeep, I can always export some of the rare metal to the Earth government to generate money, so... We're not actually that worried about money right now. Or sell glass. Got a lot of glass on Earth. Press Kronos. Complete. So Kronos. Single-staged orbit spacecraft powered by a closed-cycle gas-core nuclear thermal rocket. Set of 7 engines. Let this Colossus lift itself and a kiloton of payload in Earth orbit and beyond. You might be thinking, okay, so we're about to go take a bunch of stuff off of Earth with these. No, these are going to shuffle themselves off to Jupiter and Saturn for transit reasons. So I suppose if I had the radioactive generators, we might be picking them up. Well, actually, I will probably have the second one grabbed from the Earth waiting room. Radioactive generators for Saturn. Jupiter. Oh, I probably should grab some from Jupiter as well. Because I will want these. These I will want. Yes. So I need some for here. Okay. So Kronos. I want you in orbit. Not Jupiter. Earth. Earth orbit. Kronos. You're taking nothing. You need no help. You just launch. Just to launch itself, 152 tons of hydrogen must be expended. Earth is a pain to get off of. But now we have a Kronos in orbit. And this Kronos is going to go... Do I take the 3 of them to Io? I'm tempted. Because what do I need, right, for... To make my radioisotope generators? I need radioactives. I suppose I could also bring the bits back, then I still have to pay the launch cost, but I can build them for cheap. I need radioactives, electronics, and exotic alloys. The place I know to get those right now is Io. Yeah, is Io. So probably take 3 of the radioactive generators to Io. Invest in being able to do that on Io. Okay. Or do I bring them along at all at the moment? Oh, I suppose the thing that's going to be the problem in Saturn's system is that there's no local metal. Yeah, no local metal there. I got everything else. The age-old question. So you've got everything but the thing you need, yes. Everything but the thing you need. No, I'm going to keep it simple. We're going to get the Kronos to... I want to do the I'm in this sort of conundrum of, do I go with stuff? Because I'm not quite ready for a transit to start doing stuff on Io. Because I'm thinking I want the radioisotope generators, and I want a construction module. And I did not launch with a construction module from Earth. Although I could launch with a construction, I could build a construction module. We got Pelicans waiting, so that wouldn't be a big ask. That's all I'm waiting for. And I'd probably bring a mobile hab. Oh no, I probably don't bring a mobile hab, because I can just shuffle the stuff in from the other ones and we get the construction module and build the stuff with the chip. Yeah, that's probably the safe way to do that. Since mining modules, if I want to build metal, although I can get the metal from elsewhere. So until I do totally radioactive mining, yeah, I think it just give me a construction module. Although I've got plenty, I could just launch the one using the Pelican. I've got hydrogen as well. What's the fuel efficiency on the Crux? Does it make sense to fly this empty? So my Kronos is got a 40 kms fuel efficiency. Vestas is obviously twice as fuel efficient. So that would be an argument against actually having the Kronos carry anything, because the Vestas is just cheaper to carry stuff. It's better than the Prometheus. But everything's better than Prometheus at this point. That's why I'm using the Prometheus for short system transit. And we're working the Arraign, which is going to be my long-distance haulers when we get those going. 2.5 kilotons. Yeah, I think I just fly it out empty. Just to get it out in system. So you fly to Jupiter. And you're in Earth orbit. Optimal window. And these are not light ships. It's 326 tons just to move the ship. But the thing it has going for me is I can get it to launch off of planets, which is notable for the gas giant sets. Things like Titan, Rhea, Io, Europa. So I don't have to build Pelican Legion. I know I'm probably being a little bit of a repetitive chatter there with that, all those statements. Gas extractor, another one done in Saturn. Carbon mine done at Ganymede. Second Kronos done on Earth. I want you to go to... Just go straight to Saturn. Earth to Saturn. Oh, I suppose I could have it launch from Earth to Earth orbit and use the Earth orbit fuel. Save me having to drop it. Well, you used my drop stuff, I mean. Yeah, that's not convenient. Okay. I want you to go to Saturn, but first we're actually going to do a launch to Earth orbit. Again, this is flying empty. Flying empty in its own power. And then I should be able to do a follow-up mission from Earth orbit to Saturn right away. Wait, what? Okay, I don't think it's supposed to work like that. It's telling me I can get a gravitational assist from transiting to Earth to go to Saturn when I'm launching from Earth. Okay. We're not. It's not the right launch window, so it doesn't matter. Okay, we got both Cronoses in orbit. Now that they're in orbit... No, it's easier to see them when they're transiting, so we'll wait until we have a proper launch window for one of these guys. I say when there's already one in transit. There we go. So this is the Kronos. It's got a bit of a ballistic missile look to it because I suppose it could very rapidly be converted into a ballistic missile if it needed to be. That's the Kronos for you. That's our heavy single-staged orbit launch vehicle that has an interstellar capacity to it. And we're working on the Rain, which is going to be the long-distance hauler of our ships. Okay, here on Callisto, I have 231 workers, 145 of them not working. Let's get them some jobs. So, metal or alloy production, I'm willing to consume another 55 alloys for I need to make more metal. So that's 3 of you. And I've got just over, or just under 45 power, so we've got plenty of power on that batch. So yeah, in theory I can do the full 6 there, do another 2. I think one of my relatives closing one of the blinds nearby was getting picked up on the mic. Yeah, so let's do another 2 metal mines. And then do another 6 alloy after that. See where the power gets at the end of that. And then we want the alloys pile up a little bit, but then we're going to ship that over to Ganymede to make more polymer. And then I suppose eventually to Jupiter itself. Oh, that hydrogen's ready. Okay, transit time to Earth. Optimal window, full fuel tank. And you're go. It's actually a little bit more grow than I was expecting because it's already off. Jupiter orbit arrival on Earth, so I've got hydrogen for launches. Is there anything I want from Earth? Not quite ready to send more people from Earth's waiting room. Although I could make an arrangement for that. That wouldn't be too difficult. So if I were to go to Io, oh no, I suppose this would still not necessarily be a ship from Earth's waiting room. Although I could set up more research hubs, I suppose. I could also do a run out to Lutetia and back to have some rares to sell. Lutetia and back run would not be super problematic. Could also bring some carbon with us. Okay. Let's get a Pelican transiting to Earth orbit with some of our copious amount of carbon. And then that gives me a full load for Hephaestus to go to Lutetia with. the other one probably wants to head to the Jupiter system. Which means I'm going to need to prep some stuff. I suppose I could reuse these mobile hubs. We've got launch capacity, we can get them off of Ganymede and Callisto. And it would be real easy just to come along and say, hey, I need 10 more metal here, and we do another underground hab. And then going to the mobile hab. Okay. And then that gives me the mobile habs for Io Europa. So then I really just want... Well, and if they're not inhabited, I suppose I could also... Or even if they are inhabited, I could yoink the mining modules now that I have the power to power traditional mining on Ganymede, Callisto. So of my standard trifecta, it's the radioisotope generators. If I bring one... Oh, and I can move the probes around too. What am I waiting for? Is I just don't want to nick the construction modules? Is that what I'm thinking about? And then bring radioisotope generators. So bring like 2 radioisotope generators and 2 construction modules. Yeah, I think that's all I want off of Earth. Okay. And if I don't want to waste the Pelican, we can launch alloys to go up with the construction modules. Okay. And then I've got enough, I think, for the transit I want back to Jupiter. So Jupiter, obviously we're not going to Jupiter, the planet, but Jupiter's orbit. And Vestas. 2 construction modules, 2 of the radioisotope generators. I'm not quite ready for the people. Because yeah, I think I'll try to build proper hab in space, and then we can bring like 100 along at a time. It's a system where I have pretty easy access to food, and I suppose I could bring stuff along to the lab, but we'll sort that out in a later transit. So yeah, then we'll just bring a bunch of alloys along to help accelerate the construction of the orbital gas extractors. Optimal window. You're going to a fuel station, so take a bit of fuel. Yep, we'll let some time pass. I'm waiting for 800 tons of alloys to pile up here, so I can do transit with the Prometheus over to the other location. With a full load. Saturn orbit arrived at Earth. Bringing hydrogen, so I've got plenty of hydrogen for another launch. What do I want in orbit? I couldn't take another construction module this time to say go out of Saturn. Is there any other locations in Saturn that I would want to hit fairly early on? Empyrean and Minmus both have enough, or both have both carbon and water, so they would be decent colonies for research. So it would make sense to maybe bring a radioisotope generator and Although the big thing I'm missing out there is actually metal. But bring a radio sub-generator and a construction module. Grab the probe, because the Kronos will get there first, so we can have the Kronos pick up the probe from Titan. Yeah, so we'll just be really bringing in metal. Or hold off. I might have this one do a transit out to an asteroid in a bit. I think I'll do that in the beginning of next episode. Yeah, we'll let a little bit of time pass. We'll let some of these missions progress. Also, how much money would I get for liquidating 686? This isn't all the rares. This is giving us a good idea of how easy it is to make money, so we sold those off. We get another sell order for a slightly lower price, and then I can sell these off. Yeah, okay, so I can use that to make money, and we can bring that in fairly easy. Until I need them for construction, and then those are probably better things to sell anyway, is the construction items. I think the electronics... Yeah, electronics go for more, and the really expensive alloys go for even more than that. Okay. Making alloys faster and faster and faster. Power looks like it will be stable. And the arraign is complete. Back on Earth. I think that is one I will have to make in orbit. Spacecraft. Most powerful nuclear thermal spacecraft powered by nuclear light bulb engine. So I've got the alloys. I'll have to launch up 40 tons of electronics, 50 tons of rares, and 45 more tons of radioactives. Because otherwise I was going to say, can't do that because you don't have those resources in orbit. And I'm pretty sure I can't build the spacecraft down here on... I am capable of building it on Earth. I don't think it's capable of... Oh, I suppose you could... Why are you leaving the buildings on Earth? I don't think it has launch capacity to get off of Earth. Okay, so if I'm on Earth, it goes like, oh, you have to build this in orbit. Okay. Okay, so I need to get those stuff to orbit. So I need 40 of you. I suppose I technically don't need 40, but I think I have like 5 in orbit. 50 of you. I have 55 of you in orbit, so I need another 45 of you. And then we've got the allies. Do I have the alloys in orbit? I have the alloys in orbit, so it's a small launch. Just get it done quickly with the Pelicans, so we get it under construction. The rain. Done in 180 days. While that's going on, we'll be working on regolith shifting to work our way up to radioactive isotopes. Freeze mining efficiency would be nice as well. Alley smelting finished. Jupiter orbit arrived at Earth, so I have more fuel or more launching capacity if I was willing to be actually chucking stuff off of Earth at high speed. I might actually be thinking about starting to slow that down as I run out of willingness to spend my precious Earth money at this point. Although we still got kilotons of carbon, kilotons of oxygen. I don't think we necessarily need more oxygen on Earth. I need more water. I need to put ocean water back in the oceans, but yeah, probably at the point where I start spilling down the hydrogen production. Oh, and our crew modules are back. We'll want to put those in orbit. Out at Jupiter with more time-sensitive stuff. Got the 800 tons of you. Go to Ganymede. List of Ganymede on the Prometheus. 800 tons. Pull it into orbit. Take the minimum fuel. Okay, our 800 tons have arrived, so we begin production of more polymers. Here we go. Rain has been constructed on Earth. I think I have an idea for what I want its first shipment to be. I noted that Saturn, the entire Saturn system, has no metal. So all the metal I'm going to bring to the Saturn system has to come from someplace else. And the most sensible place, where I've got a bunch of metal that I'm not otherwise using, is here on Earth. This is actually, I think, the byproduct of the stuff we've disassembled. So my first trip of the Arraign will be delivering metal to Titan. Earth to Titan. It's not going to be running full, but this is sort of the proverbial test flight here. And apparently I have a ship that is now officially fast enough, it's proposing constant acceleration as an option. So if we're running on impulse, we're looking 8 years. Constant acceleration, we're looking 3 months. It's a lot more delta V. Cannot carry. Okay, so I'm being given the option, but we're not fuel efficient enough to do constant impulse on that transit. Okay, it's too far. Still, even with that load, I think we will, because we're basically going out to Saturn. I've got a Prometheus in system to do a refuel if I need to get a refuel, so we can go a bit faster than we normally would. We'll go like a 500-ton burn with the fastest you can get on 500 tons. That's cracking it down to 2 years, 4 months, 2 days. Okay. And we'll wait until that launch happens. Now, also, Jupiter's Kronos has arrived. So I suppose I can send that to Almathea to retrieve the crew compartments and the probe. let's bring some hydrogen to Almathea. So I've got fuel on Almathea for launch. We'll do the standard drop 800 Prometheus style. Bring 800 tons along. Bring the lead because I've got it from the cargo hold. Fly over to Almathea. There we go. And then I want to drag the empty crew compartments back to Jupiter. On the Kronos, because I can do a launch itself. And the probe. Could even drag the carbon back to from Almathea in case I want to drop it on one of the other ones. So sure, we might as well fill up with carbon. No launch vehicle required. This is a Kronos. Minimum burn. And yeah, Almathea has basically no atmosphere, so we're burning 1.7 tons to get off of the place. And once again, we have a Kronos in transit. It's not going to take very long to get where it's going, because we're not sending these guys on long trips. Okay, let's arrive to Jupiter. And then at Jupiter, I'm actually going to have you immediately go in and dump the probe on a different location. GoPro IO. IO, I think, is actually more interesting for early on here. So, Kronos. Go to IO. Actually, if you go to IO orbit, that way, whatever fuel you bring along, you will leave in orbit, so you don't have to. Actually, no, we'll have you land. We'll have you land, because again, you can take off from. Cannot deploy crew. Fine. Have no crew. I need less hydrogen here. We'll take like 101. 100's hopefully not enough to get stuck. There we go. Showed off that we can go to IO and we'll move the probe around. Okay, so the other thing I want to show off today is in the Arraign transit. That begins on, oh, that's off for like 3 years. Oh no, that's the Kronos. The Kronos is like 3 years. You're August. Okay, so let's speed up and get the Titan 1 launch in progress, and then we'll watch that transit. Oh, it's launched already. There we are. This is the Arraign. Probably in the middle of its rotation after doing its burn to begin thinking about slowing down. In fact, I can see a kink in there. So yeah, it's turned to its next burn. Earth to Titan, 2096, August 8th to 2098, November 28th, carrying a ton of metal to Titan. This is what the Arraign looks like. So those are our 4 visible spaceships. And then I suppose we can use this to get an idea. This is roughly what the Pelican looks like. We haven't invented any single-stage orbits. those are our fission vessels for the moment. And I think here, well, 5 minutes over an hour, I think it's a good place for another part break. In the next one, we're going to try to make use of these Cronuses to expand to more locations without having to use Pelicans. And the Rain will mostly be doing the long-distance holing, as I probably try to use the FS die less and less. And to be fair, we're going to start slowing down on launching stuff from Earth, just because I am blowing through the Earth resources. We're down to 10.6 million. So I need to get money up instead of simply just spending it. So, no, they're going to have to resist buying more stuff off the Earth market. In fact, be more encouraged to sell stuff to it. No immediate concerns about running out of money. We've got... What? That's... Oh, that is, to be fair, that's the monthly budget. So we're going through about 0.1 million a month. So we've got a little, like 100 months of budget. So yeah, I need to probably be thinking about how I'm making money, not how I'm spending money. So that's going to slow launching down from Earth. We're moving towards radioactive isotope isolation, circuit production, so we're not limited from our circuits on Earth. Exotic allies, again, so we're not limited by production on Earth. Into communication satellites, which this should make money. We'll see how quickly we can use this to get to be price positive. That's what we're going to be working on for the rest of the stream, is working towards those. So if you're watching on YouTube, there will be more parts up. There will, in fact, be another part up tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, feel free to hang around. I'm going to take a midstream tea break to go get a new cup of tea. So until next part, I'm going to wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part and or stream, and bye for now.